Well, hello, all of you 10 or 12 listeners out there. Welcome to Fatherhood Friday. We hope that you enjoy this episode. We don't get into a whole lot of detailed discussion this time, but we do let you get to know all of us a little bit better. And we talk a little bit about maybe why you should listen to us or what we have to offer. And so I hope that you enjoy this episode. As always, this episode is brought to you by Cornerstone Fellowship, just a little bit north of Toomsboro, Georgia. Is a small church with a big heart. We love to love people, and we love Jesus Christ, and we want to point you to Him. So I hope that you'll come and join us if you are in the area, or you can join us online. Go to cornerstonefellowship-ga.org. That's cornerstonefellowship-ga.org to learn more and to maybe see a sermon or two. All right, God bless you. Let's get this episode going. All right, welcome to Fatherhood Friday, everybody. And I am just so glad to be here with you today. My name is Jared Hinton. I'm also known as the Preacher Dad. I host the Preacher Dad podcast, which is probably why you found this particular episode. And I am here with an illustrious panel of former coworkers of mine. We all worked together at a restaurant, which shall remain unnamed. Let's just say it was a pleasure for us to work together. And we certainly had a lot of fun, and I appreciate so much these guys. But I'm just going to start off by sharing a little bit. Some of you may be new to the podcast, and we're going to just share a little bit about who we are and some of our background and the things that we have done and seen. I am a bivocational pastor in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, and I have a wonderful wife of 18 years, and I'm so grateful to have found her. I tell people all the time in my job, I'm still in the restaurant industry and a pastor as well, but I tell people all the time as a training director, I say I'm a Hoosier boy, I have a Hoosier heart, but I met me a Georgia peach. And we started having peachlets, and now I'm a Georgia boy. I can't help it. Those Georgia peaches are pretty sweet. But my wife and I have 8 children. That's right, I said 8. And we have 5 girls and 3 boys. They range in ages from 17 down to 3. And we have just been so greatly blessed. We have a small homestead. We just got a milk cow last year, and she had a little calf. The cow's name is Mayberry, and her calf is a steer, and his name is T-Bone. His name is Ernest T-Bone. So that's been a real blessing to our family, and we are passionate about serving the Lord and working together as a family. And this podcast, this Fatherhood podcast, we are hoping will be an encouragement to dads out there who are also warriors in the fight and are, just plugging along, trying to make ends meet, trying to pay the bills, but also thinking about the spiritual condition of their family. And just, I think all 4 of us understand at different levels that battle. And we are just wanting to encourage any of you out there that are kind of in that same boat, or anyone that wants to learn, or anyone that wants to move into fatherhood. we probably have something to share with you. But I'm going to turn it over to my friend Matt Stewart to give us a little bit of an idea of him. So Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Jared. Yeah, Matt Stewart, 38 years old, been married for over 16 years now to my wife, May. We have 5 kids, first 3 are girls and then 2 boys, and they range from 13. So I just became a dad to a teenage girl last week, actually. So 13 to 3. And we have another one, which is probably going to be the final one on the way. We are not going to catch Jared with 8. I think 6 is going to be good. So yeah, they're great kids, obviously. We love them to death. They're so much fun. But yeah, my wife May and I, we raise our kids in a Christian home. Lots of singing hymns and playing instruments and family devotions most of the time at night. And yeah, so we try to obviously raise them up in a godly way. Yeah, I was just thinking about, thinking about my family. We have a lot of fun as a family. Everything from tree swings out in our yard, four-wheeler riding, playing board games, card games, um, you name it. We just have a lot of fun. Go camping some. We have a camper. It's a lot of fun. We do have a little homestead as well, like Jared was mentioning. I wish I had a milk cow, but I do not. I had two pigs that we harvested back in March, and though they were Ribsy and Barb, so some other good names. We have some honeybees that just over the last month I've got 134 pounds of honey, so I'm excited about that.
Good gracious!
Yeah.
What are the names of your honeybees?
I'm not sure. I can't answer that question. So, and then we have chickens as well. So that's kind of what we do here at the house. A little bit more about my background quickly. Grew up in little podunk city in LA, lower Alabama, obviously. And so much better place than the real LA.
Your accent is not too, I don't recognize that California accent there in your
right.
Your speech
They
pattern.
threw them out years ago.
Right. Yeah. So obviously living there, there wasn't anything to do. So we just hunted and fished and played out on the Alabama River some, and was just kind of a redneck. I don't, maybe a little bit here and there still, but anyway, that's where I grew up. Went to the University of Alabama, and while I was there, I worked a fuge camp, which those of you that are not Southern Baptists may not know what that is, but they do a lot of different mission fuge, centrifuge camps, and I worked one of those when I was in college. That's where I met my wife, and so yeah, currently I work at the International Mission Board, which again, through the Southern Baptist Convention, we send missionaries all over the world. We send over 4,000 missionaries out, and so I've been there for a couple of years now, and it's really nice being part of an organization that tries to solve the world's greatest problem, and that is lostness. And so that's a good job. And then we, supposed to answer a couple of questions here. What are we like most passionate about, and what meat we like to eat. So what I'm really passionate about, and obviously, I'm passionate about hanging out with the kids, playing with them, of course, but Alabama football, all Alabama sports, really. It's fun cheering for the best college football team in the history of college sports. Isn't that right, Jared? Don't you agree?
Well, I was going to say that I'm glad to have such an idiot for a friend.
Okay.
Who is just completely dense up top. But,
yeah. So no, big Bama football fan, all sports, and SEC. But besides that, yeah, I love deer hunting. There's nothing better than being in the woods on a cold November morning or afternoon, shooting a deer. Love that. And then
that's the biggest problem with your judgment, honestly, is that you're an Alabama football fan. That's one of the main reasons I question your judgment in a lot of things.
Well, who's won more, Alabama or Georgia recently, head to head?
Oh, it's
okay.
It's not only about the number of rings; it's about style. It's about character and integrity.
Oh, okay, sure.
I'm
Yeah.
just not sure Alabama has a lot of that left.
Okay, all right, we'll see. All right, so last thing, and then I'll let whoever goes next go. But I obviously, through deer hunting and killing my pigs, love to eat any meat like that. We love some good deer meat with deer hamburgers with some of my pork fat in it. That's really, really tasty. Yeah. And you can't go wrong with ribs and bacon and barbecue. I love it all. Especially when Tony comes over and makes me hamburgers. Those are really good.
Tony's good at that.
That
That's
one
awesome.
time, it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
My kids still
One
talk
time.
about it, so apparently it resonated.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate that, and appreciate you. At least most of what you said. Your judgment in football teams is still questionable, but
Yeah.
your selection of food is outstanding. I've eaten with you several times. You have good taste in food. Nathan Eisner, we call you Nate, have since you were a 16-year-old kid coming to work
15.
with us in that. You were
Yeah.
15.
14 or
15.
15, yeah.
Technically, it was
Yeah,
illegal.
But it's fun.
Came to work with us in the restaurant at 15, and it's been such a fun time watching
Yeah.
your life grow and you grow some. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Nate.
Yeah, so started there at 15, was homeschooled, and so I pretty much had a full-time job from 15 until now, and that's really just how it's been. No,
And
I'm
so
Nate.
Nate is the most wealthy among us, actually.
Not true. Not true. Far from true. No, yeah, so I'm Nate, married to my wife Tegan. We have 2 children. I've been married 5 years. I'm 26. I guess I should have mentioned age there, but yeah, my oldest daughter is 4. She just turned 4 a couple weeks ago, and I have a younger daughter who is 1, or I guess she's 1.5. So we love them to death. We definitely want to have more. We just moved into our first house, so we'll see what happens there. But I believe that children are a blessing from the Lord, so I'm sure we will have many more if He allows us and if He blesses us with that. Yeah, so obviously started in the restaurant industry with these fine gentlemen. I've kind of moved around and tried to figure out where I wanted to land, and I wouldn't necessarily say I've landed on any particular career that I would say is my lifelong passion, but the Lord has certainly blessed me with consistently having a job that has been able to pay the bills for my family, and for that I'm very grateful. Heavily involved in my church, not a pastor by any stretch of the imagination, but very passionate about serving in my local church. I'm a musician, so serve on the worship team. Recently have started to get involved with our youth ministry, and have been teaching the kids this summer. I do not really know the first thing about sports, nor do I care. Organized sports, I should say. Really enjoy playing football and ultimate frisbee with the youth on Wednesday nights. But as far as what goes on the TV, I have no clue. Never followed it. I guess I've been to some Super Bowl parties, but that's about as close as I get. So, and I mainly went for the hot wings. So, if we're being honest,
Yep.
and the commercials back when they used to be semi-appropriate.
Right.
But anyways, devolving here. But
What's your favorite meat?
favorite meat, I'm a ribeye kind of guy. I like a good steak. One of my favorite quotes is, when you're burned out, just take a break, eat a steak. It's just true. It's just true.
That's good.
But yeah, my passions in life, obviously spending time with my family. Like I said, I'm a musician, so I love music. Don't really have the funds now, but used to collect vinyl records a lot, and I've kind of downsized my collection there. I have a lot of guitars, a lot of guitar gear. Again, have downsized that collection a little bit. Don't play as much for recreation now. I grew up in the suburbs, and I married a beautiful country girl, and she has turned me into a redneck over the years. So these days I'm really into deer hunting, and we had some meat rabbits there for a little while. I've had a handful of breeders. Most of them ended up in the freezer, but I had a really good breeding pair that gave us a lot of meat. The doe, her name was Mama, and the buck, his name was Big Daddy. So
Hey, this is a PG show. Come on.
but I did not give him that name, but that was his name. And that's not a joke. That's what we called him. But neither of them.
They didn't name him after you, did they?
You're telling me that your wife named your rabbit Big Daddy?
I think so. I think she came up with that, if I'm not
no.
mistaken. But yeah, neither of them are with us anymore. They've both gone on to Rabbit wherever they go. So anyways, we started out with that. Like I said, we just moved into our house. We were living with my parents for a year to save, and the Lord finally blessed us with a property that's also in the middle of absolute nowhere in Virginia. So it's about 25 minutes from the nearest highway, country highway, in any direction that you go. So, but we love it. 12 acres and very secluded. It's quiet, great neighbors. And so we're hoping to start a homestead. We don't have any animals currently. In the process, not far from my in-laws, and we're in the process of getting a dairy cow, actually. And my father-in-law just raised some meat chickens, so we just processed 70 birds. So also in the homesteading thing, as you know, it seems like any good Christian conservative is these days. But if I'm being honest, but yeah, so that's what I like to do for fun, hang out with my family. That's about it. You know, I was talking to Jared the other day. We don't own a television, mainly just because I've never owned one. I've never purchased one, and I kind of like it, to be honest. You know, our evenings are quiet. We read books, we laugh, we talk, and we hang out, and it's pretty nice. I have a little pocket projector, so occasionally we'll watch a movie on the wall, but you have to take some effort to set that up. It's not something that you can just turn on and habitually you kind of veg out. So
That's good.
That's a picture of our family.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Nate. It's good to have you on board tonight.
Good to be here.
Mr. Tony Russell is next on the list. Tony, share with us a little bit about your family and your life.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Tony Russell. In time you will discover that I am probably the least interesting person on this panel. I have no musical abilities. I'm not into football. I do have TVs in every room of my house. There's a spectrum of us on this panel. That's the point of all this. But anyway, I've been married to my beautiful wife Angela for 17 years, going on 18 this year in September, and that's most of everything that I love and enjoy about my life is centered around my relationship with her. I know that the Christian answer is a little different than that one. That we ought to place Christ first and foremost above all else, which I believe I do. But I think that the way that manifests is through loving her, and I've enjoyed the richness of that. And as a production of that, we have 3 clones. 2 of them replicated her, and 1 of them replicated me. And the little man that I got running around is about a foot taller than his age would suggest. He's a very big little guy, and he's starting to get into the age where he's starting to enjoy the stuff that I really like working out and fitness and stuff like that. So I'm trying to de-fattenize myself while I'm also trying to stock him up a little bit. So we're coming at it from 2 different angles, but it's been a fun way for us to connect and bond. And we've only just barely started, so I'm looking forward to the next several years of that kind of being our mode of connection. But as far as things that I'm interested in, like I love learning stuff. I love learning a lot of stuff that's not true. I'm really into like dumb conspiracy theories. I think they're the funniest things. And it's not because I don't believe probably 90% of them, but I'm very entertained by what people are willing to believe, and in spite of very obvious evidence to the contrary. So yeah. I find that hilarious. I dive into that stuff way more than I probably should. I like video games. I like arguing with people on social media. All the stuff they tell you is a complete waste of your life. I'm into a lot of that. So, but
that's awesome.
I'm very much looking forward to this podcast. I think that there's really no. You guys may not know this in the audience side, but the group of brothers that have come together for this is a uniquely special group of men, and I love each one of them. Their perspectives are awesome. Their hearts are awesome. The integrity that they bring behind the scenes and the way they live their lives and who they are They're incredibly real special people to me. So I'm very excited about being here with each one of them. And even if you guys weren't there, Mr. Audience or Mrs. Audience, honestly, it's Mr. Audience.
Mr.
It's probably Mr. Audience.
Whoever's out there, I am very much excited about this podcast, if for nothing else, just to hang out with these men. They're good men, and I'm glad to be here with them.
Amen. Well, I think that you probably speak for all of us when you say that, Tony.
You're here.
Well, I want to
favorite meat.
Favorite meat, please.
Sorry, I forgot to throw that out there, and that was literally the only thing I was thinking about the entire time I was waiting for my turn. So one of the things that I've enjoyed getting into is trying to explore how to cook poorly, but in a really good way. And I had an experiment that went really well. My last vacation trip with my family, I ended up having the opportunity to try to attempt grilling lobster tails. And good Lord, I have never made anything better than that in my life. They were so good. They were awesome. And I'm very much looking forward to the next time the stars align and I get to do that again. It was meaningful in a soul fulfilling way.
You know, one time I was at the Ritz-Carlton, and some bigwigs from the corporate office paid for us to have, maybe a couple of you guys were there, they paid for us to have grilled lobster sandwiches. No, it was grilled lobster, grilled cheese is what it was.
Wow.
It was the best grilled cheese sandwich I've ever eaten in my life. It also cost like $50. It was like the most expensive sandwich I've ever eaten either. But it was very good.
So Jared, they probably figured out what restaurant we worked at, but why aren't we saying it again?
Because I still work there and I don't want to get in trouble.
and Eisner Equity Group can't handle that many lawsuits all at once.
That's right.
That's right. The Eisner Equity Group is the unofficial sponsor of the Fatherhood Friday podcast. We are very grateful for their sponsorship. And the president, CEO, COO, CFO, and the chief culture director is Mr. Nathan Eisner. Thank you so much, Nathan, for all of the contributions you've made.
Yeah, all opinions are worth what you paid for.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I don't think I mentioned my favorite meat. My favorite meat is got to be steak. I really enjoy filet mignon. First time I ever had that, I was just amazed by it. And I think one of my favorite memories with you guys is going to Texas Day, Brazil, and having mountains of the best meat ever just delivered straight to your table as much as you can eat. I mean, this was a guy's paradise. It was a wonderful, wonderful memory.
Hey folks, I want to tell you about 7 Weeks Coffee. They are a company that believes every life is worth fighting for. When you purchase 7 Weeks Coffee, you're directly helping to fund their network of over 750 pro-life organizations across the country. That's because with every purchase of their delicious coffee, 7 Weeks is donating 10% of that sale to pro-life pregnancy centers that reach women and men in crisis every day. In the last 2 years, 7 Weeks Coffee has donated $250,000 to help save the lives of children and also rescue their parents from years of regret and suffering. But you don't have to endure poor quality coffee to make a difference. Their coffee is harvested in the most organic way possible, and you can taste the difference in every sip. It really is quite good, folks. I really am loving this coffee. These coffee beans are mold and toxin free, and they use organic farming practices, and the coffee is ultra low in acid. When a baby reaches 7 weeks from conception, it is the size of a coffee bean, and that is also the point at which a heartbeat is first detectable. 7 Weeks Coffee is committed to the pro-life cause, and you can get an outstanding product while contributing to the important work of pregnancy centers across the United States. Now, in order to get 10% off, you can go to preacherdad.com and use my special link, or you can go to 7weekscoffee.com and use the promo code PREACHERDAD for 10% off. And then you can join me in saving lives 1 cup of coffee at a time. Go to 7weekscoffee.com today and use the promo code PREACHERDAD.
But I want our audience to also understand why they should pay attention to what we're saying. all 7 of you that are listening, I would love for you to know why
That's
this
generous.
group of guys is worth listening to. But I want to talk about Mr. Tony. Tony has a really unique perspective on things, and has partly because his dad passed away early, he has been on a mission to pour as much into his family as possible in case he is taken away early. And so that has really motivated him to learn a lot really fast, and has also motivated him to just to invest a lot into his family. And so he's also got a very um, analytical way of looking at things. He's able to bring life lessons out of Star Wars, and he's able to, analyze current events really well. And I just appreciate his perspective from a biblical point of view, but also, being logical about it, reasonable, and has a really unique way of looking at things. So that's why I think everybody ought to listen to Tony. But Tony, why should people listen to Matt?
I find Matt to be one of the most steadfast men that I've ever known. I have known Matt to go through many seasons of good and bad and trial and victory, and he's always the same man. And that is meant in the most positive way that you can imagine. That his character is always it's always resilient, and it's always leaning on the right things. His discipline in his life to be able to maintain Christian ethics in the way that he interprets and understands events as they hit him. It's always the same. It's always there. It doesn't matter the weather. He's just a good man to be able to keep you grounded, to keep you founded on the right things. And we've had plenty of conversations to test those foundations through our times at the place that shall not be named. And he's consistent all the time, and that consistency is so deeply rooted in a rich faith and a firm doctrine. And I find a lot of safety in putting a man like him into a place in my own life to look to for encouragement, as an example, as a challenge to step it up at times. He's just a good man. And when it comes to his ability to potentially survive in the wilderness for a long period of time with no assistance, it's second to none. And that's a skill I greatly admire. So
Awesome.
Oh, that was very kind, Tony. Thank you. And really, you put us all together in the woods, we could really survive for a long time.
Oh yeah.
We really could. We bring a lot of different things. So I was going to talk for
I'll
a minute
kill the
about
salt plant, and I'll make it good. I'll make the food good.
Yeah. I just wanted to say one thing before I get into talking about Nate. Just for the audience, we three, Tony, myself, and Nate, are all right outside of Richmond, Virginia. I don't think we've said that. And of course, Jared is in Georgia. We all used to work together in Virginia. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I broke up the band. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So a little bit about Nate. He's mainly just very mature for his age. We're all like us, the other three of us, we're all, pushing 40, or in Jared's case, 50. But Nate is just 25, 26 years old. And he's, like I said, very mature. Even like when he was, working with him when he was 20 years old, 21, having theological conversations and conversations about raising animals. Like he knows all about Joel Salatin and the way to do all that properly. And he knows the Bible. He knows how to be godly husband, and he's just so young. And so it really is, it's kind of neat thinking about all of us, 38, 30, 40, however old you are, Jared, and then you got Nate, who's 26. But we all, and he's very versatile too. Experience, working in obviously the restaurant industry. He did warehouse work. Where he was the #1 salesman at a job we worked at after the restaurant. And so he's done a lot of different things and just knows a ton. And, you know, he was talking about being a musician, and he is, and he like more of like a rock and roll type guy, right, Nate? Probably so. But then he dials it back for church, which is really it's interesting hearing him talk about that. But just a great guy, great husband. He's been willing to help me. Helps me process deer, helps me move things at my house. We used to live pretty close to each other, and he was just very, very generous guy, and smart. I think everybody's going to enjoy getting to hear from Nate.
Oh, shucks. Well, thank you, Matt. Yeah, and I just want to say, you know, I'm here to learn. You know, I would say probably more than I'm going to give input. Any input I give is going to be just my perspective and experience, because I definitely know I have a lot to learn. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about Jared a little bit. Yeah, I've known Jared since I was 15. And they call him the preacher dad. And, you know, he has certainly been a father figure throughout the years. I have a good dad, but that doesn't mean we can't have more than one father figure in our life. And Jared has definitely been one of those for me. Even just through the years, just our conversations early morning in the restaurant that shall not be named, just many main topics of, you know, ranging everything from Star Wars to marriage to family to politics to, I mean, you name it. So I can't begin to tell you just how thankful I am for all these men, but Jared especially. I think, you know, we definitely hit it off for sure from the get-go. And I don't know how much we'll get into our personal stories, but, you know, my wife and I went through some, you know, so I met my wife when I was 13. And so we dated through high school, but there was a time that we broke up for about a year. And through that time, I can just remember many conversations that I had with Jared that were very pivotal and influential in my life. And so I'm forever thankful to the Lord for that. But why I think you should listen to him is he's a truth seeker, and he is a man of conviction. And when Jared's talking, it's because he believes it, and that has just been proven over and over again. And one thing that I think is neat about this panel is not all of us agree 100% on everything, but yet we've still remained to be close friends, and we disagree in a very healthy way. And so in that, I think is so cool. And I think there is a lot of strengthening that has taken place because of that. And we agree on, I think, you know, the core principles. You know, we all agree on the gospel. We agree on, you know, our very, I don't know how much we want to get into it, but a lot of core values. And
Right.
so, you know,
Star Wars is the best series ever. We agree on that.
They used to be. It could be again.
Disney. Good Lord.
Maybe not in my lifetime, but trying to leave something to my kids.
But just to tie this bow, Jared has always proven himself to be a truth seeker and a truth teller, and he's very courageous at that as well. And I think a man that is willing to stand for his convictions in this day and age is hard to come by. And I'm just very thankful to know not just Jared, but all three. I guess there's four of us, but all three of these men that sit before me. So
yeah,
for the same reasons.
Thank you, Nate. I appreciate that. I'm glad to know that I have successfully fooled you about my true character. So once again, another guy tricked. No, I appreciate all of you guys, and you've all said just so much about what's in my heart. I think that the times that we do disagree is healthy, and I think that that's because we have a foundation of trust. I think we really do trust each other's hearts, that we're all seeking Christ, we're all seeking the Lord, we believe in the Bible, we believe the truth, and so it makes it easy for us to sharpen each other, challenge each other, say, hey, what about this? And no, you're not thinking right about that. And so I think that's a good thing for us, definitely. All right, lightning round before we wrap up here, guys. I want you to just shoot out there a podcast that you want to recommend people listen to. what's a good podcast that you want to suggest? See, we on
I
this
have two.
podcast, we are not selfish. Nate, you got if you can pick two fast, that's fine.
Oh,
but,
easy. Easy.
Okay, what's your two?
All right. Number one, Warrior Poet Society. It's behind a paywall. John
Yeah.
Lovell. He posts some stuff on YouTube, but
Freaking
he
awesome
says stuff
stuff.
that YouTube hates. So most of it you got to pay for if you want to hear the good stuff.
Okay.
So watch WPSN.com if you want to get that. Number two, Haunted Cosmos.
So awesome
Just
merch.
fantastic. Haunted Cosmos.
Haunted
Yeah.
Cosmos.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay,
Both of them, awesome.
Tony, what's your podcast you want to say people should listen to?
I'm definitely gonna say this wrong, but there's a thing called Blog and Mablog, which is a blog place, but
Doug
they
Wilson.
have a podcast.
What a great name.
Yeah, Doug Wilson stuff, and he does a YouTube channel where he puts out little clips of that, and then I've found other places. I don't know if they're directly from him or not, but they're also recorded clips of him giving various speeches and stuff based off of things that he writes over there. But probably one of my favorite thinkers at the time. Love the man. Incredibly, I would think of him as kind of like a C.S. Lewis for our time. He's just very pithy, very, very good at getting down to incredibly important subject matter through very quick little analyses or stories or sayings and stuff. And I enjoy listening to him. So
Awesome.
you might not like
Doug
him too much
Wilson?
because he baptizes babies. So he might be out. So
Yeah.
but
Well, we might have to forgive him.
but he's a good man.
I like
the guy a
Doug
lot.
Wilson.
He's
I like Doug Wilson. I don't agree with all of his stuff, but I
Yeah.
do like him. I've got some of his books.
Okay, cool. All right,
man.
Matt.
I don't either. I don't agree with all my stuff, so it's fine with me.
I don't agree with myself half the time. Matt, what's your podcast people need to listen to?
Well, keeping with the correct interpretation of Scripture, with those two, because Reformed, Nate, the Haunted Cosmos are Presbyterian pastors, and
They
then
are.
Doug Wilson, and
So is John Lovell.
well,
He's Reformed.
But then we've got, I guess right now I've been listening to Your Calvinist podcast, Keith Foskey. He's just so funny. Have y'all heard him any?
I
Nate,
think I've
And to
heard
give
of
some,
it.
No,
I've not heard of that, but just to give context, I think I'm not a Calvinist. Jared, I don't believe you're a Calvinist. Matt is
he's
100. Matt is 100% a Calvinist. Tony, I don't know where you stand on the issue.
whichever one's funniest at the time. That's usually where I go.
Yeah,
So
cool.
Matt is a 7-point Calvinist.
yes.
No, so Keith Foskey, he's fun. He always says something. He'll be, he does, what's it called? Evangelism soup for the, I don't know. He gives a recap real quick of what's happening in the Christian world. And he always shows these bunch of false preacher, whatever, women getting up on stage doing what they do. And but anyway, he always says something like, I sure hope it was a blast for you, because it sure was blasphemy. So yeah, that's what, so he's a funny guy.
That's great. All right. Well, I have two also. I would say people should listen to the Wall Builders podcast, and they should listen to Charlie Kirk. I listen to Wall Builders and Charlie Kirk all the time. Charlie has great take on the news. He's got an evangelical Christian perspective upon the things that are happening, and I really think he's got a lot of solid things to share with us. But also the Wall Builders podcast, I've learned so much from David and Tim Barton and Rick Green about our nation and its founding and the biblical foundations of who we are. Just some incredible stuff that I can share some other time, but everybody should listen to those two. So there you go. Yeah,
Here.
You got a list. And you can come back for more fun times next time on Fatherhood Friday. We're glad to kick off this initial episode. And if you want to find out more about any of us, you can go to preacherdad.com. If it's still functioning, I think there's some technical issues there, but you can check out preacherdad.com, or you can find this podcast wherever you find your podcasts, Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all the different places we are. And we'll look forward to hopefully seeing you next week on Fatherhood Friday. Thank you very much. Have a great day.